I'm in Rose Hill Road, Wandsworth in southwest London, in front of the house in which Mary Ann Nichols, the first known victim of Jack the Ripper, lived as a servant in early 1888. Her job would have included cleaning, washing, shopping, and other household duties. And she seems to have been very happy in her work. She wrote to her father how pleased she was with the house and how big the garden was. Unfortunately, after a few months, her employer, Mrs. Martha Cowdery, gave her the sack. She'd found that she'd stolen sheets worth £3.10. Without a home, without a job, Mary Ann Nichols' life started to spiral out of control. I've moved across London now and am sitting in Manor Park Cemetery, close to this plaque in memory of Annie Chapman, the second known victim of Jack the Ripper. A plaque, not a grave. We're not sure exactly where she's buried around here. What we do know is that her funeral was at a time of mass hysteria about the Ripper in September 1888 and had to be held in complete secret. Her life is a rags to riches to rags story. She was born in Paddington. Her father was a trooper, her parents alcoholics. But things improved when she married John Chapman. Prospects looked good. John Chapman got a job in a noble family who lived in Bond Street in London, one of the most sought after places to live and shop. They lived in Bruton Mews overlooking Berkeley Square, where there were a lovely lawn, trees and an ornamental fountain. Sadly, things went wrong. John was sacked. I'm now in East London Cemetery at the grave of Elizabeth Stride. Born Elizabeth Gustavsdotter on a farm on the west coast of Sweden in 1843. She and her sister found country life dull and quickly moved into Gothenburg. But between the ages of 20 and 22, in quick succession, her mother died and she gave birth to a stillborn daughter. Using a small inheritance from her mother, she decided to emigrate. She'd been told that Swedish people were treated well in London. There was even a Swedish church and community. So in February 1866, she walked to the port, quickly dissolving in a great throng of men, women and wailing children, most waiting for ship for the USA to begin a new life in the land of opportunity. What would have happened to her if she joined them? Instead, she had chosen a much less expensive passage to Britain. Her terrible fate was sealed. This is Mitre Square, where Catherine Eddowes, the fourth known victim of Jack the Ripper, was found early in the morning of Sunday the 30th of September 1888. The previous evening she'd been found drunk and entertaining crowds of people by making fire engine noises in Aldgate High Street. Having taken a bow, she lay down on the pavement and went to sleep. and was hauled up by two local policemen and dragged round to Bishopgate police station. There she was locked up for a few hours by the City of London police. After she'd sobered up, she was allowed out at 12:55 a.m. She walked down the passageway here, which was then called Rose Alley, and reached Mitre Square, where she was killed. Of course, had she been found by the Metropolitan Police in their patch, just a few yards away, they had a different policy. They would have kept drunks until the morning, and she would have escaped that fateful night. About 5 minutes away from Mitre Square lay Miller's Court. This is Parliament Court today, and gives perhaps an idea of what it might have been like. It's turned off of Dorset Street, and it's here where Mary Jane Kelly, the fifth victim of Jack the Ripper, once lived. In a, well, house you might call it, but really a partitioned off ground floor back room, which one newspaper described as a miserable apology for a dwelling. 12 foot long, 10 foot wide, uncarpeted, wooden bed, 2 small tables, 2 small chairs. Clothes dangling from the windows in place of curtains, a window pane that was broken. The crime scene was so hideous that full details were not reported in newspapers at the time. Oh, hello there. Hope you've enjoyed hearing about the 5 victims of Jack the Ripper. If you're interested in knowing any more, my book, The Hidden Lives of Jack the Ripper's Victims, will be reissued by Pen and Sword on the 30th of September. But of course, you can pre-order it now.